watching CreekBox TV.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CreekBox TV. I'm Alan Hanley. I got my buddy right here, Mr. Len Robbins, the voice of the Panthers. Len is running for mayor. We had the debate last week. We hope to bring in every candidate for an interview on CreekBox. Len, we appreciate you taking the time and come out and visit with us. And last week we were on a clock.
Yeah.
You know, what was rough last week, we had to dress up, which you look nice. I'm back to my old self. But man, we didn't really get to touch on everything.
Yeah.
You know, when you do a debate like that, it's what it is, a debate. But now, on the interviews, we want to focus on yourself, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and why you want to be mayor.
My family first moved here in the late 40s after World War II. My grandfather was in World War II, and part of his medical scholarship, he was a doctor, he had to serve in a rural community. And he was from Arkansas. My grandmother's from Georgia, and then so there was an opening here in Homerville, and so they came here. And I don't think they meant to, or planned on staying long, but they fell in love with the community, fell in love with Homerville, exactly, and decided to raise their children here. And he was helped start the football program in 1952, was real involved with the community and church, and also started the Athletic Booster Club and a lot of things like that. And then, my father was sort of, he left and came back. He graduated from high school here. When I was a kid, we lived in Marietta, and he was a banker. And
I never did know that.
Yeah, and when he was in his mid-30s, he decided, the lure of Homerville, to come back to Homerville. He got his teaching certificate. He wanted to teach and coach. And so he came back here and, of course, was a successful coach. And I think in the 12 years he was head basketball coach, they won 8 region championships and 2 state championships. And then my story is a little bit similar to that in that I went to high school here, graduated, moved here when I was 14, graduated with the famous, great class of 1986, of which you're a member.
That's right.
Or infamous, maybe, I don't know.
Right.
But
That's right.
and then went to University of Georgia and got my journalism degree and worked in Tifton at the Tifton Gazette and then at Valdosta Daily Times. And then the family who had owned the Clinch County News for almost a century, the Huxford family, they were selling the newspaper, and a guy named Robert Williams from Blackshear bought it, and he hired me to run it, and that was in 94. And one of the first things I did was I went down and said, hey, do y'all need help coaching youth sports? And I ended up doing that before my kids were born up until recently. And I coached, and I coached all the sports, 40 teams.
That's right.
I figured out. Right. And then sort of like my grandfather did, and then I went to my first Booster Club meeting and became president the first meeting, and I'm still the president, and then volunteered with WB2I to do some of the broadcasting there, and I've been doing that since then as well. And then, later on, Jenny and I got married, and our kids grew up here, and this is where we had a chance a couple of times to leave. I had a offer to go to another newspaper, double my salary. I was making $17,000 a year, and we just had Riley. We were about to have Zach, our second child, and luckily that was when I got to buy the newspaper. The guy who owned it arranged it, even though I didn't have money, so I could stay here, and that was a glorious blessing. But we raised our kids here. Our daughter is now at. She's about to graduate from college.
Yeah, I know it.
And with a mass communications journalism degree. And when she graduates in December, she's going to come back and work with my company. We're expanding a little bit. I can't say anything why or how we're doing that, but we're expanding pretty soon. She's going to be part of that. And then Zach is a sophomore at Georgia, and Tucker's a junior in high school. And one thing I loved coaching the youth sports out there with you at the rec park, because I enjoyed knowing the kids.
That's right.
And then later on, like now, I see them, and I see them at the grocery store, see them wherever, and I know them. And so, when Tucker graduates, and maybe I'll have some time, I'm going to go back to coaching.
Looking at, all 3 of your kids come to the rec park. Tucker was the smallest one of all 3. I'll never forget. and he played nose guard. He weighed probably 55 pounds, 8 and under. I think he was 6, playing 8 and under.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
One time we were playing in Patterson, and he's coming off the end, and he's getting a bunch of sacks, and I think he's like 10 years old. And one of the coach on the other team says, why can't you block that guy? He only weighs 40 pounds. And Tucker goes, I weigh 42 pounds, thank you.
That's right. Friday night, man, he got his first touchdown, and when they threw him the pass, he made a great move, and then at the end, you have to go, Lexi set CreekBox up a TikTok thing, and he stretches out like they do on ESPN to dive across the end zone.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah, we got a big kick out of that. Yeah.
But no, man, and you just been involved your whole life in mayor's races now, and you just...
Well, and it's a natural sort of progression of community service to me. I'm not a politician. This is the first time I've run, except for when I ran for city council. I didn't run against anybody, but I want to serve this community in whatever way they want me to. And I feel I've been led sort of to run this time. There's a lot of things. If you look at my background, if you look at my work experience, if you look at that I've been involved in economic development and things like that, and the things that are going on. We got some good stuff going on right now.
Got a new school coming.
Got a new school coming. We're collaborating real well. I just think this is the right time. It seems like the perfect time for me to run and hopefully win.
Well, man, we appreciate you taking the time out to come talk about some of the issues. That's going to lead us into our first break. We're going to come back and talk about some more issues with Mr. Len Robbins. We'll be right back.
Say yes to Camry's available all-wheel drive, and say yes to better control. With better control, you have confidence. When you have confidence,
You sound like one of those movie announcer guys.
this is my normal voice. Say yes to Camry.
Toyota, let's go places. Walker Jones Toyota, home of the lifetime warranty. Memorial Drive in Waycross and online at walkerjonestoyota.com.
Your car or truck won't start, stuck in the mud, stranded on the side of the road? No need to fear. Rocket Towing is here. Rocket Towing of Homerville is ready to tow your vehicles 24/7. When you need a tow, Rocket Towing will arrive at your location promptly with professional service. Keep this number handy, 912-487-6727. For all of your towing needs, call Rocket Towing and Recovery. Homerville, Georgia, we are here to serve.
My name is Benny Jamie Hendricks White, and I approve this message.
At Burt CPAs, helping small businesses with their accounting needs is our business. We have offices in Homerville, Waycross, Alma, and Baxley. Burt's professionals are ready to serve you no matter your location. We are your team for accounting, bookkeeping, tax, and financial advice. In Homerville, call firm partner Adam Toll. Lee Engineering and Construction Company in DuPont, Georgia has been a part of the community since 1935 and is proud to support Clinch County athletics. The prayer of the entire Lee Engineering family is that our Lord and Savior will richly bless our schools, community, and nation.
You're watching CreekBox TV.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to CreekBox TV. I'm Alan Henley. I got Mr. Len Robbins, the voice of the Panthers, running for mayor, also the city of Homerville. Len, we talked a little bit about yourself. Let's talk about some of the city issues, city finances. Tell us a little bit what you plan on doing for the city.
Well, first of all, I want to clarify some stuff that's been going around. One thing we discussed at our debate was audits, and the city is mandated, just as every city in the state is, and every municipality and county and school board, of doing an audit every year that you have to send into the state. So I think there was some question about that. There was also been a question about who does our auditing. Our auditing is done by an accounting firm out of Valdosta, Henderson Godby, which is separate from the accounting firm that does our day-to-day payroll and stuff, which our day-to-day payroll is done by the local Burt. And I think there was some question because our city manager is related to somebody that works at Burt, but the person she's related to works in another office. It doesn't have anything to do with our accounting, but it doesn't have anything to do with our auditing. The rumor was that the city manager's sister is doing our auditing. That is not true. She works at a different place. We also have a lot of checks and balances that are going on in that make sure that there's not any kind of impropriety. And there hasn't been. And one good thing is that, one good thing about the pandemic, it's not a good thing about the pandemic, but we did get a lot of money from the federal government, which we're going to use on infrastructure. I just came back from a city council meeting. Of course, I'm not on the city council right now because I had to resign to run for mayor, but I go to the meetings, and they gave some of that money, and you're supposed to do this, to the employees who had to work during the pandemic when other people didn't, and so we are getting, and we're waiting on, we're still getting, not we, but the city is still getting guidance on how to use those funds, and they're sort of moving it around. And some cities have made the mistake of going ahead and spending that money.
Now, how do you come to a decision how you're going to use it? Are they taking?
They're going to give you a list of stuff, and most of it's going to be is you can use it on the police and people that worked during the pandemic, to shore that up or whatever. And then infrastructure, meaning water and sewer, maybe I'd like to spend some of it, and of course, I don't know if I'll have a chance to be involved in that process, but on drainage. We've got some drainage issues in the city of Homerville. I'd like to get an engineer in here and actually go and try to find some solutions. And I've been called to neighborhoods before, and they say, look at this, and I'm like, I don't know anything about drainage. Let's get an expert to come in here and then give a educated summary of what we should do. And I think, we're going to do a lot of that with it. But the city is right now very conservative with the way we're spending money, especially with that kind of stuff, because it is, the taxpayers' money. One thing I'd like to do, just to answer a question, I think a lot of the people have questions is because they feel that maybe if we were more transparent, they wouldn't have as many questions.
That's
right. So one thing we could do, and I'm cutting my own nose by saying this, but we could put some of it online. Some of it's already in the newspaper, and it's required by the state, like our budget and our tax digest and all kinds of stuff. But like our P&L monthly, or also called revenues and expenditures, we could put that online. It's only like 7 pages. We could put that online. If people had questions, they could look on there and see what their tax money is being spent on and how much is coming in and how much is going out. And maybe that would alleviate some of those concerns.
I know one of the questions the other night, of course, we didn't get to all of them. Everybody texting question would you hire a code enforcer?
We already had one officer who has shown interest in that. And I've also talked to the sheriff, Stephen Tinsley, about maybe sharing a code enforcement officer. Because the county, the county and city have hired the same grant writer who specializes in police stuff and infrastructure and that kind of thing, and road department stuff. And we've talked to her about trying to find a grant for a code enforcement officer, because the county has some issues with code enforcement, like with animal control. We have that same issue.
That's right.
I think one of the questions was some services you can combine. I think that's one service we could combine.
That's right.
And we could do it with a code enforcement officer. But the code enforcement officer for the city also would need to address buildings, and all kinds of codes. We had a problem in one neighborhood with smells, and we passed an ordinance just recently that addressed that. If there is a problem with smell in the neighborhood, then we have something in the books right now to give that person a ticket. I think any officer can do that, but you need a code enforcement officer that can enforce these codes, because if they aren't, it's bringing down other people's property, the property, the value of their property.
Well, man, you don't build a nice house and then somebody open a hog farm beside you.
Exactly.
Not that that's going on, but I mean, man, the Rural Zone program, man, tell us about that.
Well, we found out on Saturday, and I brought that up in the debate Thursday, right? On Saturday, we found out that it was approved, that Homerville got approved, one of, I don't know how many in the state were approved.
What does that mean, Len?
Well, what it means is it's a program, and only a few communities get it every year, where if you buy a building or build a building in downtown Homerville or a certain area, you can get 25% back in a tax credit for whatever you spend on that. You can get 30% back on anything you rehab if you fix up the building. And then you have to create jobs with at least 2. You get a tax break from that too. Anyway, the most you could get back if you do all the things you're supposed to do, $425,000. And the impact this has had, and I mentioned the Bainbridge, which had, I think, 32 buildings that were vacant. And in the first year of this program, because of the incentives, people took advantage of them, fixed up the buildings, and started businesses there. They had 32. That means, a community our size, we're smaller in Bainbridge, we would have 6 new businesses, which would be huge. But I also looked up Woodbury, Georgia, which is smaller than us, actually. The population's like 1,600. In their first 2 years, they had something like 18 businesses.
My Lord.
So and we already have people lining up to try to take advantage of this. And I had a similar tax credit thing when I opened a newspaper in Lakeland, and it saved me $20,000 over a 5-year period. I would have had to pay for employee taxes that I didn't have to pay.
I got you.
And it's just a great thing for rural communities that I'm really excited about it, and I think it's really going to change our community.
Man, I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, brother, that's going to lead us into another break. We'll hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back to talk some more politics with Mr. Len Robbins.
At Douglas Metal and Steel Manufacturing, we only use top quality steel and roofing. And with our on-staff custom designer, we can customize your building to best suit your needs. From large commercial, agriculture, or just a place to store your stuff. And it comes with a written 40-year warranty that we'll put in your hand. It's not just quality we stand behind, but we stand on. Call today for a free quote. Douglas Metal and Steel Manufacturing. We are steel #1.
From our swing bed service to our primary care practice, and now our new retail pharmacy, Clinch Memorial Hospital is equipped to provide our community the best care right here at home. Dr. Ankor is Clinch Memorial's physician and offers quality care at Clinch Family Practice, where our community can also enjoy spa services. At Clinch Memorial Pharmacy, patients can fulfill their prescriptions conveniently with our curbside pickup services. We also provide the COVID vaccine. Give us a call at 912-470-2359 to schedule yours today.
Lutz, Brown, Pigler, and Manley Insurance Agency is locally owned and has been a part of the Homerville, Clinch County community for many years. We make it a priority to know our clients on a personal basis and take pride in customizing insurance coverage for the particular needs of each customer. We offer all lines of insurance, including auto, home, business, life insurance, annuities, and bonds. Lutz, Brown, Pigler, and Manley Insurance Agency, East Dame Avenue, Homerville. Go Panthers! Camping World of Valdosta, located in Lake Park, is your one-stop destination for all your camping needs. Stop by to see your dreams of quality time with your family become a reality. Whether it's tailgating with your air-conditioned camper, taking a trip to the mountains or beach with your family, or driving your motorhome to a faraway destination, Camping World has it all. Let us put you and your family in a camper for as little as $99 per month. And remember, when you buy a camper from Camping World of Valdosta, you receive a free Elite Good Sam membership, roadside assistance, and travel assist for 1 year.
You're watching CreekBox TV.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to CreekBox TV. I'm Alan Hanley. I got Mr. Len Robbins running for the mayor of Homerville here with us tonight. Len, I'm going to go back the other night. People were texting, man, we had 75, 80 questions. And I had 3 minutes to pull out 4 or 5 to talk about. One of the questions was about masks. Mm-hmm. And man, that was a big, hot issue back the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Of course, now I think we're headed in the right direction. People, want to know if they have a right. Could you force them to wear a mask? Or would you force them, if you're mayor, to wear a mask?
Absolutely not. We had a mask ordinance which was very loose back in 2020, and that was on the heels of 5 people in our community dying in a week.
That's right.
And we had no vaccine then. It's different now.
Right.
We have vaccine. No, there's no plans for that. I would never do that. That was a public safety thing, and I'd do it again at that time because we were trying to save people's lives.
That's right.
And friends of mine had died that week, and yours too. And whole families have, and it's been horrible in our community. But at this point, no, that's not going to happen.
I got you. Well, we appreciate it. All right, let's talk about the quality of life issues, Len.
And you know, that's one of the points I've been trying to make in my campaign, because quality of life means different things to different people. But one of the problems we're having is we're losing population, and we have kids graduating from high school here, and they are going in the military, or they're going to tech school, or they're going to college, or they're getting a job in the workforce, and they're leaving here and they're not coming back.
That's right.
And that's a problem, because we have an aging population, we're losing population. We need to find a way to retain them. Now, part of that, I think, is opportunity, which I think rural zone economic development, we can create some more jobs of different types. We have a healthy industrial base right now. We have Great American Cobbler Company, which is doing great and growing, and we need to support those manufacturers and industries. But we need to grow from within in terms of other kind of jobs. Entrepreneurship is statistically the best way to get people out of poverty. We have a lot of poverty here. So we need to create jobs that way. And that's one way that we can get people to come back. Another is quality of life. And one thing that and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, the master plan, which we're going to start in February of next year. What it does is it uses leakage reports, which leakage reports tell you how much money somebody from Clinch County or Homerville is spending on different things in different communities. It can tell you we're spending $13.5 million outside of Homerville on sporting goods. And that's going to tell me and you, we may want to put a sporting goods store here.
That's right.
Well, one of the things it's telling us is that a lot of people are going out of town to go to a full-service restaurant. Full service meaning place you can get a steak, some shrimp, have some wine, silverware.
Sit down and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's right.
A lot of people are going out of town to do that. A place like Hoagie's that we used to have. That's one thing that's a quality of life issue that a lot of people, probably want in their community. One of the good things is we've got great quality of life stuff right now. I mean, we're about to build a new school that's going to be state of the art. That's really going to be a lure for people. We've got a hospital that's not just thriving, not just surviving, it's thriving.
That's
and
right.
Offering all kinds of services for old people like me and you. That's a big deal. We have, it's relatively safe here. People feel safe. We have, you can get off work at 5 o'clock and be hunting and fishing at 5:15. A lot of people, that's a big deal. No traffic. Right. But we need to, and heck, we can do this, Alan, with a survey monkey and just find out what young people want and then see if we can supply that for them. In entertainment, and all kinds of stuff like that. And we're working on some entertainment things. I can't say anything about it. That could be really cool and have stuff for kids to do and adults. And recreation is a part of the quality of life factor. And I'll go ahead and some people may not realize this, but the recreation department gets SPLOST dollars.
That's right.
10% of the county SPLOST, which is divided between the county government and the city governments. And I'd like to thank the county commissioners and the cities for agreeing to do that many years ago.
That's right.
Because that helped us build that great facility out there. And that's one of the quality of life things we need to continue to improve upon, but we need to improve upon not just kids, but also adult recreation. And I was on the recreation board right before I came on the city council, and one thing we worked on was we got those lights up, which was a big deal.
That's right.
And then we put a list of our priorities for the next SPLOST, the current one right here. And part of that includes fixing up the old baseball, the little baseball fields there, which they're working on right now. Fixing up where the current tennis courts are, which look sort of bad, putting a nice outdoor basketball there, like you see in Pearson on the highway right there. Putting a playground inside the rec park that's covered with, so the little kids don't get hit by the balls in the head.
That's right.
And then having a track between where the current recreation park is and the Saddle Club. And that track is expensive. It's somewhere between what we're looking for is somewhere between $150,000 and $250,000. Now, I had a guy come down here from Carrollton and gave me a bid, and I told him, I said, listen, we're a small, rural, place. We don't need the Taj Mahal of tracks. And he gave me a bid of $750,000, which is made of some kind of synthetic thing that was porous.
Wasn't gonna make a dime. He cut it as low as he could.
Yeah, exactly. But we're gonna do that in between there because our high school does not have a track. They don't have a place for it on the campus of any of their schools because it's big. And they're the road warriors. So when we build that, that'll be good for those kids. Maybe we can start a middle school track program. And it's good for adults. Anybody can come out there, be used by the public. They can walk around. And we have tournaments out there. And you know this. When you have a tournament, sometimes you'll have a game at 10 a.m. and your next game won't be until 3.
That's right.
Well, you can maybe go out there and get some steps and get some exercise then. Another thing I want to mention about recreation is that school is going to be built in 2024. They're going to be moving in, meaning the elementary middle school, current one, is going to be abandoned. Now, I've talked preliminary talks with folks with the school system about that. What I suggested was that we use that for recreation, that gym.
Oh, man, that gym's top notch.
Yeah.
You just redone it here a couple of years back.
Exactly. And then maybe have some type of after-school program for kids in the community. And the big part of that would be funding, but we have some people interested in helping that. And because you have that cafeteria there, you have the playground, you have all that outdoor area, maybe after-school program so that would save people money, and also maybe a summer school, and then use the front part of that facility for adult education. Maybe Coastal Pines can come over here and teach some classes so people don't have to travel.
I got you.
And, of course, these are just what we're talking about right now, just discussions.
That's right.
But the people I talk to at the school system, I think everybody agrees, we need to use that facility for some way to help our community.
That's right.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with you, brother. Yeah. Well, that's going to lead us into another break. We'll come back and talk some more City of Homerville with Mr. Len Robbins. We'll be right back.
Dairy Queen is a proud part of our local communities and is cheering our sports teams on to championship seasons. Drop by before and after the game to say hello to Mr. Ash and his entire crew and enjoy the full Dairy Queen menu, including our famous grilled burgers, artisan-style sandwiches, and chicken strips. Cool off with our renowned smoothies, slushies, malts, and iced coffees. Try our fabulous desserts and take an ice cream cake home for that special occasion, or just to treat the family. Dine in or take out at Dairy Queen locations in Homerville, Blackshear, Folkestone, and Fernandina Beach. See you at the DQ.
Homerville Jewelers in Homerville is your headquarters for bridal and baby registry. Our newly remodeled location has that special gift for the bride and groom or that perfect gift for the new baby. Homerville Jewelers has the gifts that are suited for any special occasion, whatever it might be. Homerville Jewelers can perform jewelry repairs and offers a variety of diamonds, gold, sterling silver, watches, and necklaces. No need to shop out of town. Homerville Jewelers can supply all your gift and jewelry needs. Let Kathy Townsend and staff serve you at Homerville Jewelers, East Dame Avenue, Homerville.
For the best pizza and wings in town any day of the week, check out Huey's One Stop in Homerville. Drop by, fuel up, and let Mr. Nick Patel and staff serve you some mouth-watering pizza and wings that you won't soon forget. Or just take that favorite pizza and box of wings home. Call 912-487-2338 to order your pizza and wings every Friday night after the game. Huey's One Stop, 193 Church Street, Homerville. Mike's Golf Carts and Power Sports in Douglas has the cheapest prices in South Georgia and a huge inventory of new and used gas and electric golf carts and off-road vehicles. Mike's also has parts and accessories and proudly serves customers across the states of Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. Whether you stop into our store or shop with us online, we have everything you need for Can-Am, E-Z-Go, Club Car, and Yamaha. 0% financing available for qualified customers. Mike's Golf Carts and Power Sports in Douglas, Georgia.
This is Alan Hanley, and I want to tell you about Dre's Snack Shack. Dre specializes in chicken wings, barbecue, sausage, hot dogs, hamburgers, salads, and a variety of other mouth-watering menu items. So y'all come on down and see Dre at Dre's Snack Shack. He can handle all your catering needs also. The good thing is he stays open late at night
after the games. So please come in and see Dre at Dre's Snack Shack.
You're watching CreekBox TV.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to CreekBox TV. I'm Alan Henley. I got the voice of the Panthers, Mr. Len Robbins. He's running for mayor, city of Homerville. Len, man, we appreciate you coming in, man, and you've talked about a bunch of different subjects going on in the city. One that's come up this week been the police chief, man. Can you tell us what you know, what you've heard about the police chief?
Well, I don't know really much. Like I said, I'm not on the city council right now. He resigned on Tuesday, and they are with pay until the end of the year. And the reason I think the city council did that, and I'm speculating, but is because in the past, the police chief's on basically a year contract from January to January. And in the past, we had a police chief that got fired. In between then, he sued the city, and the city lost. Mm-hmm. And basically, the judge said he's on a contract. If you don't have just cause to fire him or something, then you have to pay him. So I think in abundance of caution, the city council decided to go ahead and pay him till the rest of the year and then get an interim police chief for that. But in terms of why Chief DiLorenzo resigned, I do not know. We asked him for a comment for the newspaper, and I haven't heard anything from him yet. It's disappointing because I was there for 2 years, and we approved him twice and didn't have any problems. Mm-hmm. Until the last 2 months, and then obviously, and of course I wasn't on the council at the time, but something went sour. I don't know exactly what happened, but it's a shame because I thought he was doing a pretty good job. And but I also believe in God's will, and that hopefully something great will come for him and his family, and then the city will choose the perfect police chief at the right time for our community, and I hope to be a part of that process.
Oh man, we appreciate it. Len, again, we appreciate you coming in. I'm gonna give you an opportunity right here to speak to the citizens of Homerville. We're early voting now. The election's November the 2nd. Why should people in the city of Homerville vote for Len Robbins?
Well, I'm gonna go back to what I started with my family, and when I moved back here, I wanted to, my grandfather had served this community for a long time. He died a couple years before I was born, but there wasn't a day that went by for many years where somebody didn't come up to me and tell me what kind of impact he had on them. And most of it didn't have to do with him being a physician. It had to do with him serving in the community. So that was ingrained in me when I moved back here, and I worked, like we talked about, with kids and coaching and the booster club and all kinds of things. But one thing I found is that sometimes you have to be in a decision-making role to make a real impact. And so when the city council seat came open 2 years ago, I asked God, if I'm supposed to do this, just don't put any barriers. If I'm not supposed to do this, put a roadblock. Mm-hmm. And since then, all I've gotten are green lights. Mm-hmm. And that's what's led me here today, because I want to serve this community whatever way, number one, God wants me to, and whatever way, two, the people of Homerville want me to. Mm-hmm. And I think if you look, and this is why I said at the debate the other night, that I'm uniquely qualified because how much experience I have in government, first of all, being a city council person and serving in so many capacities, but also watching government and studying it. And I've been to economic development type things. And one thing, we never got to housing. One thing I wanted to mention, but I've actually been to seminars about housing and how we can produce housing in small towns by offering incentives. And anyway, I just think that I have the right resume that fits into what we need right now as a community. And I hope that the people of Homerville will look at that resume and look at not only that, but the way I've conducted myself, and there's a lot of things going on right now, and it's the silly season of we're 3 weeks away from the election. There's a lot of rumors going around. Listen, if you hear something and you think it sounds fishy, call me. 912-218-2255. Part of my job in the newspaper is to dispel myths and rumors. I'll be glad to dispel myths and rumors about this election. But first of all, thank y'all for giving us the opportunity to come here and not just do sound bites, but maybe longer explanations of the issues. I think that's a great community service you're providing. And also, we've started early voting. I encourage everybody to go. It takes 4 minutes to go in there and go out. And, exercise your right to vote. And I hope you'll exercise your right to vote for me.
Man, we appreciate it. And I want to remind everybody, you cannot complain if you do not vote. And Len, whoever's elected, good luck to you. Want to make sure if you're elected, you'll come back as mayor and talk to the people and keep us up to date what's going on in the city of Homerville.
Oh, yeah.
Man, God bless you. Good luck, and thank you for joining us tonight on CreekBox.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
You're watching CreekBox TV.